Okay, so we're going to look at making a Wilton monkey cake here. This is just a pre-formed tin. It's fairly shallow, probably about 2 inches deep, and it will bake the cake with the imprint of the monkey on it, and then the idea being that you can then decorate it with buttercream rather than traditional rolled fondant icing. And so we're going to walk you through that. This is just a very basic cake, relatively easy to do. So what we've got here is we've got some greaseproof paper that we're going to use to grease the tin. So we're going to use Trex instead of veg oil or butter. It just gives a slightly better non-stick finish to the cake, so the cake doesn't all peel away when you take it out of the tin. So we've got our greaseproof paper with a bit of Trex on, and Danielle's just going to rub that around the monkey tin.
So we want to get some on the greaseproof, and then we just want to rub it around like you would if you were greasing any normal pan. I will try and get it more into the grooves. That's probably where it's going to stick more. So all the way up.
It's very important to get all the way to the top, because don't forget the cake mixture will rise.
I'm going to use some of this just to spread it out a little bit. Perfect. On the grooves. Okay, you want to put plenty on so that it doesn't stick. All in the grooves.
You can buy lots of different shapes of these Wilton tins. It's just a very cheap and quick way of creating a cake without having to spend lots of time carving the cake out. This particular one was given to us.
Right, and there it is, it's all greased. So now I'm going to make up the sponge mix.
Okay, so we're going to do a 10-inch cake mix here. It may end up being that we have got some left over. So what's the measurements?
350 grams of butter, 350 grams of self-raising flour. I put a teaspoon of vanilla extracts in, and then it's 6 eggs.
So what you'll notice here is that we've got a large container of butter, and this particular one is just a mix from a supermarket. It's a soft spread and it's ideal for cakes, and it's an alternative to blocks of butter like this. So if you're cooking in quantities, the big 2 kilo tubs like this one here are ideal.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the butter in to my bowl and my whisk, and I'm just going to whisk it just a little bit. You don't want it too much because you don't want the butter and the egg to turn. I've just whisked it a little bit. And now I'm going to measure out. You can do this pre-measured, but I haven't. I need to get some more iron.
So here we're measuring out 350
of caster sugar.
150 grams of caster sugar.
And at this point as well, I'm going to put in the vanilla extract, sorry. But what I do is I tip the sugar into one corner, and then with my extracts bottle, I tip it into the other, because what I find is if you don't, and if you tip it into the butter, the sugar goes hard and it won't mix in very well. So now I'm just going to give it another mix. And you want to combine all the butter and sugar. So and now you want 6 eggs. I do mine separately because I find it easier to work like that.
So it's 1 egg at a time, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now some people weigh their eggs, but if you just have roughly the same size eggs, you can't really go too wrong.
Okay, and then what I've done is, as you can see, I've scraped the sides of the bowl down. That one, get a new one. Just so I know that the butter and the eggs are going to incorporate all in together. And what I do is have a little bowl and I crack my egg. So. And then I mix until it's all blended in. And that way, if I keep my eggs in a bowl as well, I know how many I've done, and I don't lose count. So we go number 2.
So you're just mixing until each egg is combined into the butter and caster sugar mix. Or is it caster sugar, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, caster sugar, yeah.
Okay, well I've got 6 of these to do now, so why don't I get back to you in a minute.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, Danielle's just measuring out 350 grams of flour. This is self-raising flour. So just while she's doing that, if you have a look here, got quite a loose mixture. All 6 eggs have been mixed in. If we look over here, see Danielle's measuring out the self-raising flour. As I was saying, 350 grams of self-raising flour.
And I'm not going to use the blender or the mixer, sorry, just yet. What I'm going to do is, I like to do this by hand, because sometimes the mixer doesn't incorporate it all in. So what I do is from the sides, I just work it in until it all goes.
So you can see now it's coming together quite nicely.
Now I can see it's all in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my spatula, scrape it all off, and then I'm just going to give it a quick blast just to double check. And there you go. And there it is, it's all done. So now I shall move it over to the tin and I'll show you how to put it in the tin.
So here we are back at the greased tin. You'll see we've got underneath a tray. That's because what will often happen here is that the cake mixture will overflow if we get the mixture just the level not quite right here, and we don't want that all going in the oven. So the tray will just catch any excess.
Right, so I'm going to fill it up now. Try and push it into all the corners. You want to get as much cake in as you can. Trying to smooth it out as well.
Just make sure it gets into all the little crevices.
And this is a good way to do it with a spatula, because obviously the spatula spreads more.
What you'll also see is on the internet and various other places is recipes for pound cake, which is what's suggested for these cakes. But you can also use your own standard cake recipe, like the one that we're using here. With the mixture that we mix, you get a nice light cake.
Okay.
That isn't too dense.
I'm just going to go over it one more time to make sure it's got good thickness in the cake.
So we'll just keep going here for a second and come back. Okay, so we're getting towards the end here now. We've got a little bit of mixture left. And as you can see, it's taken a whole 10-inch mixture. And there's a gap at the top. There's a little bit more mixture to add in now. And then it'll be just a case of just one last little smooth over into the edges, making sure it's level end to end, so that you get a nice even cake. Okay, so now it's going to go into the oven at what temperature?
I'll put it at 200.
So it goes at 200, and we put this in for 25 to 30 minutes to begin with. Have a little look, try and avoid opening the oven door if you can, and we'll come back then and have a look.